The HEROES bill, I think, was a really important next step, and it covered a lot of things that are really important. And like any 1,800-page bill, there were some parts of it that I didn't love. So here's what about it I do love. Our state and local governments are hurting tremendously right now. Our state has expended tremendous resources, and they're also not getting any sales tax income revenue right now. And so they were talking about having to cut major services. And the best thing we can do, for example, for our public education is get money to the states, because that's how our kids learn, and that is a worthy investment. Same thing to local governments, to our counties. These are all systems that are paid for locally. And so the HEROES Act has almost $1 trillion, that's with a T, for state and local governments. That is critical. There's a couple other things that are really critical. Look, to get our hands around this, we need testing and tracing, contact tracing. Dedicates resources for that. It also has vote at home, which we are lucky enough to have in this state. It's worked well. We've worked out the kinks, but the rest of the country doesn't have that, and nobody should have to jeopardize their health in order to exercise their right to vote, especially with a pandemic that hurts senior citizens more than anybody else, and they are reliable voters. It doesn't matter what party you're in. And then supporting the post office, the postal service as well. So those things are in. Things I didn't love, I think that now that we have a moment to pause, I think it would be fiscally wise when we have enhanced unemployment to make sure that there's a cap at what people's previous salary was, because we don't want to provide a disincentive to go back to work. And this doesn't apply to that many people, but I talk with small business owners who say, you know, I want to get my workers back because I just got this PPP loan and I can't get them back. And I think that's an easy fix. I think it's also an easy fix to say, if we're going to do another cash payment that's very generous, some people need it, some people don't. And if you're earning your same prior salary, you're able to pay your rent and mortgage, you're doing okay, and COVID has not fortunately impacted you, you don't need that. And I think it's fiscally responsible to have a little bit more of a fine and careful look at things when you don't have the urgency of the first CARES bill.
There was some disappointment that you expressed concerning what the HEROES bill was able to do, particularly in the realm of agriculture. Can you talk about that for a second?
Well, I have a bill that I absolutely love, and I think it may end up coming back when the Senate and the House work together on this bill, because it's so important. Here's one of the saddest things that's happening right now among all of the sad things. We have lines around the block because more people than ever are relying on food stamps and are going to food banks to make those ends meet. At the same time, we have fewer volunteers at food banks, and we also have farmers who are saying, oh my gosh, we used to sell everything to local restaurants, to schools, to farmers market. We don't have a market anymore, and so they're having to till their crops under. And what a tremendous waste of resources. And so my bill merely says, look, the USDA has a couple great programs, but it's the USDA, and it's going to take so long to roll it out, and people are hungry now. Let's just get money straight to the states. They know where their small and medium farmers are. They know where their food banks are. They know how to make those connections. So let's let them do that in a nimble way. And I think this just makes so much sense. It has bipartisan support. Kathy McMorris-Rodgers and I are on this bill together. I'm so glad she joined me. And we've got support in the Senate. So I'm going to continue to push for the sake of our farmers.